Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I really appreciate it. Today I wanted to explore a little bit more of an advanced practice. I woke up today, I was just feeling a little kind of blah. The weather was a little gray, kind of just stuck at home and not feeling productive. And when I get in those moods, I know that it's a signal to actually do something, move energy. And as we all know who practice yoga, the best way to do that is to get on your mat and rock it out. So I want to do that with you. So sit up tall, take your shoulders back. Let's get started. As you close your eyes, you become aware of your inner state. And this is the way that you arrive to your mat. And one of the things that the practice teaches us is that we are not always the same. We don't arrive to the mat every day with the same level of energy, the same level of openness in our muscles and our body, or the same strength even. And very much our practice is to become in tune with who we are right now. And this is an absolutely crucial message for all of us to tap into at this time. Bring your hands together in front of your hearts, Untitled Mudra. And you bring your hands together in front of your heart as a way of connecting to spirit, to your inner light. And regardless of what state your physical body is in or your physical world is in, the light of your heart is constant. And this is something that we want to remain connected to. It's from this space that we chant Om. We're going to chant together. Even though you're at home and I can't hear you, the vibration that you send out is making a connection. Take a deep inhale. Beautiful. Bow your head to your heart. Release your hands, lift your head, open your eyes. I said it's beautiful, I can't really hear you. I'm on the other side. Okay, let's rock it out. Come to Tadasana, stand at the front of your mat. Okay. We're gonna start with our feet together. Typically, when we start with anatomical neutral, we stand with the feet hip distance. But today we're gonna stand with the feet together. Standing with the feet together creates limitation, and this limitation is a source of power. And we want to convert that limited form of power into something that is expressive and free. So we just start with just the breath. Take a full inhale into your heart. Exhale through your mouth. And you notice your shoulders immediately soften down. On the next inhale, take the arms overhead. Reach for the ceiling. And then the same thing here. We're going to bring the hands together overhead. The arms stay long and strong, but the hands come together. Again, you're going to feel a little bit of limitation in the upper neck and shoulders. Make sure the neck is free. Use the power and strength of your legs to stretch in the direction of your fingertips. Take the arms back just slightly and start to open the heart. We don't want to dump right into that lower back right away. Actually, at all, ever. Use your legs, open your chest, full stretch. On the next exhale, bow forward and touch the ground. For this first one, you can bend your knees as you come in. I'm going to move back just to make sure that I'm in the frame. As you bend your knees just a little bit, your belly will start to connect with your thighs. Keep the belly connected to the thighs and then start to work the legs strong and straight. And every so often, I'm just checking in with my neck and shoulders, make sure that I'm not holding any tension back there. That's a very good way to get a tension headache, actually. On the next inhale, lift and open the chest, half stretch forward. I'm assuming you don't want that, and fold in. If you want it, that's a good way to get it. All right, on this next forward fold, we're going to flip the hands around, fingers pointing backwards. I'm going to take a deep bend in my knee again, so I'm making the connection between my belly and my thighs a little bit stronger. And then I'm going to keep my fingertips where they are, then stretch the legs straight. Those of you guys that are super flexible, I'm sure your hands are a lot further back than mine. I like to believe that I'm more flexible than I am. Then I watch my own videos and I'm like, fuck, dude, how long have you been doing yoga? couple of weeks. On the next inhale, lifting up in your chest, half stretch forward and fold in. Take your hands to your hips with an open chest, rise. Release your hands to your side, Tadasana. On the next inhale, float the arms overhead. Bring the hands together, and we're just going to take another sweet lean back. And every time I'm leaning back, I move my shoulders around just a little bit to check in again with that neck tension, make sure that there's space and freedom back there. As I press through my legs, I'm using the power of the ground to give me a rebound energy through my fingertips. So I press down to stretch up. On the next exhale, bring your hands to your heart center, bow forward, and touch the ground, Uttanasana, forward fold. Lifting up in the chest, half stretch forward, and let's step right to plank pose. As we step to plank pose, I do a quick check-in on my hands, shoulder width apart, feet hip distance apart, ground to the hands and feet. On this one, and on the planks, try not to be right on the tips of the toes, okay? Get in the balls of the feet. So somebody could actually put their hands in their heels and like put weight on it, and that's how grounded you want your feet. Open through the chest. We're going to lower halfway down, nice and sweet. Untuck the feet here. Open the heart, upward facing dog. As we come into upward facing dog, I'm just checking the verticalness of my arms. I'm assuming that's a word. I'm not sure. And then as I press down, take the shoulders back, open the chest. I'm still using my feet really strong to keep the shins supported away from the ground. Reset the feet, push the hips back, downward facing dog. As soon as you press back, bring the feet together. Bend the knees deep. Lift the sitting bones high towards the ceiling, then stretch the legs straight. A couple of rounds of breath here. Each breath, you're just creating a little bit deeper connection, more space. Step forward to meet your hands, Uttanasana, forward fold. On the same breath, lift and open the chest and fold in. Hands on the hips with an open chest, rise. Float the arms forward and up. Take the hands to prayer pose as they go overhead. Bring the hands to the heart center and fold forward. We'll pick up the tempo slowly and slightly. Lift and open the chest, half stretch forward. Step to plank pose. Strong arms and legs open through the heart. Lower down halfway. Chaturanga. Untuck the feet. Upward facing dog. Reset the feet. Downward facing dog. Feet together. Bend the knees. Sitting bones high. From the back of the heart, push the floor away. Then stretch the legs straight. Step forward to meet your hands on the same breath. Lift and open the chest. Half stretch forward. And fold in. Hands in the hips with an open chest, rise. Float the arms forward, hands together as they go overhead. And fold in, Uttanasana, forward fold. Lift and open the chest, half stretch forward. Plank pose. Strong arms and legs. Open the heart, Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Feet together, bend the knees, lift the butt, stretch the legs. Push from the heart. That's a cool phrase. Step forward to meet your hands. Lift and open the chest. And fold in. Inhale to rise. The hands can go to the hips or to the side. Arms overhead and fold in. Lift and open the chest. Half stretch forward. Step to plank pose. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Feet together, bend the knees, lightly float. Oh, that's light. Lift and open the chest and fold in. Inhale to rise, hands together and fold. Lift and open the chest, half stretch forward. Plank pose. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Feet together, bend the knees and float. Lift and open the chest and fold. Inhale to rise, hands together and fold in. Lift and open the chest, half stretch forward. Plank pose. Chaturanga, upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Feet together, bend the knees, lightly float. Lift and open the chest and fold in. Inhale to rise, hands together, and fold in. Lift and open the chest. Step to plank pose. Open the heart, chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Feet together, bend the knees, float, lift and open, and fold. Inhale to rise, palms touch, bring them into the heart as you fold in. Lift and open the chest, and step to plank pose. Chaturanga, upward facing, downward facing. Feet together, you can try floating forward with the legs straight. Whoa! Lift and open the chest and fold in. Inhale to rise, hands together and fold. Lift and open the heart, half stretch forward. Step to plank pose. So we're going to pick it up. Chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Feet together, bend and float. Lift and open the chest, half stretch forward, and fold in. Inhale to rise, palms touch, and fold in. Lift and open the chest, half stretch forward. Even if you can't hit the handstand, try it, okay? But make sure if you're, fuck it, don't fall over. Lift and open the chest. Okay, let's step forward. Okay. So as you start to float forward, you can either float step, float with knees bent, or start to float with legs straight. Bend the knees and float. Lift and open the chest, half stretch forward, and fold in. Inhale to rise, palms touch, and fold in. Lift and open the chest, half stretch forward, step to plank pose. Lower down, chaturanga, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Feet together, bend the knees and float bent knee or straight leg. Lift and open the chest, half stretch forward, and fold in. Inhale to rise, palms to touch, and fold it in at the heart. Lift and open the chest, half stretch forward, step to plank pose. Strong arms and legs, lower down, halfway chaturanga, untuck the feet, straighten the arms, reset the feet, push back, feet together, step, float, bent knee, or straight leg. Lift and open the chest, half stretch forward, and fold in. Inhale to rise, touch the palms overhead, and fold it in. Lift and open the chest, half stretch forward. Bend the knees, place the hands, step or float. Chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Feet together, bend the knees, look forward, hop, ooh. Lift and open the chest, half stretch forward, that was good, and fold in. Inhale to rise, hands to touch overhead, fold it in as a prayer. Connect to the heart, lift and open that heart. Float, chaturanga or step, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Feet together, a few more, come on. Bend the knees and float. Ooh, lift and open the chest, half stretch forward, and fold in. Inhale to rise, touch the hands, fold it in, lift and open the heart, half stretch, step or float, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Feet together, bend the knees, say a prayer, and float. Lift and open the chest, half stretch forward, and fold in. Inhale to rise, touch the hands, fold it in sweet. Last cycle, lift and open the chest, step or float, chaturanga, upward facing, downward facing, dog. Bend the knees, look forward, and float. Lift and open the chest, half stretch forward, and fold in. Take your hands to your hips with an open chest. Rise, release your hands to your side, Tadasana. Now take that long, slow exhale as a way of calming my inner body down, actually. I'm just calming the nervous system down. I'm sending a signal to my mind, I'm sending a signal and release your hands to your side. Take a nice inhale through the nose and exhale through your mouth. And that slow exhale is a way of calming down your internal state to better communicate to yourself that regardless of what is happening outside, the inside can be okay. Bring your hands to prayer pose, Vishnu Mudra. Through the power of your legs, open your heart towards your hands. Release your hands. Float the arms forward and up. Take the hands to prayer pose. Bring the hands to the heart and fold in. Now, as you fold in, we're going to take a little bit wider stance. The feet are hip distance apart. Okay? And actually, I'm going to turn to face you on this one so you can actually see. You stay facing whichever direction you can see me. I'm going to bend the left knee. I'm going to cross my left forearm and elbow to the outside of the right shin. Then just kind of settle in here. If this is quite intense for you, you can release and kind of just take the hand to the outside. Once you have hold of the ankle, start to work the left leg straight. Once the left leg is straight, you're going to walk the right hand right around in front of the left foot. Release the neck. The last stage of the pose is to take the right hand and hold the outside of the left ankle. Now, after all of those handstands, I can feel that my shoulders, upper back, super tight. So I give it time. I'm not forcing anything. Again, I'm open to work with my body in whatever state it arrives to the mat today. Wow, there's an opening. See, my body just said, thank you. You're welcome. Good, come back to center. It comes from a lack of blood flow, I guess. Okay, bend the right knee. I'm going to cross, bend the right knee, cross the right elbow to the outside of the left shin. See how I flip my hand? Then I'm holding my fingers anchor right around the Achilles tendon. Then I work the right leg straight. Give it a pause, wait for it, then start to walk the hand around. And here I just walk it in front of the other foot, opposite foot, left hand in front of right foot. Just pause. Okay, now I reach for it. And what I'm waiting for is I'm waiting for a signal from my body to actually say it's ready. If I don't receive that signal, then I stop. In yoga, that's when we call out stages. So stage 1 here, stage 2 here. Each stage is an opportunity for reflection, to tune in, listen, become more sensitive. Come back to center. Lift and open the chest, half stretch forward. And downward facing dog. I'll flip it back around. As you settle in your downward facing dog, tune into your breath and let the body get still. That's it. Step the right foot forward to meet your hands in the middle of the mat. Turn the back heel down and flat. Come onto fingertips and open through the heart. So what I'm doing here is I just do a quick check and make sure my front heel is in line with the arch of the back foot. And then as I ground to the outer edge of that back foot, I can feel a stretch moving through the outer shin. And as I ground through that foot, I'm using the power of that grounding energy to open through my heart. Get strong in the legs. On the next inhale, rise to warrior 2. So you come into warrior 2, we're going to settle into the front leg. So I'm just adjusting my back leg so that as I bend deeper, my front knee stays over my front ankle. Open through the heart. Strong, fluid, sweet breath. And that's the goal, right? How do you find strength and still be sweet at the same time? Stira sukham asanam. A little philosophy there, Yoga Sutra. Straighten the front leg, and we're going to move into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Stretch the left arm overhead, straight up first. Okay, we'll do an extended variation of this pose in just a second. Now, when I'm doing this, I'm using my fingertips on the right hand to get a little bit more rotation and opening through the chest, but I'm using my legs pressing down to get more length forward through my spine. And to get the outer left hip open, we're going to stretch the left arm forward, palm face down. Still using fingertips, still using legs, still using power rooting down to open. Full breath into the heart. Okay, we're going to move into Ardha Chandrasana. I'm going to slide the foot back just to stay in frame. Float the left arm up, the left leg up. Find your balance. If you need to bend the right knee, totally cool. Bend the back knee, grab the back foot from the outside. Ardha Chandra Chapasana. Okay, find your balance. I stay looking down to use my mat as one of my focus points. Okay, we're going to bring the right hand into Chin Mudra. Why? It challenges the balance, and it looks cool. Why else do we do what we do? Release the foot. Warrior 3. We're going to transition to Pavrita Ardha Chandrasana. Float the right arm up, stretch through both legs. If you need to keep a small bend in your right knee to access this pose, totally cool. Back leg strong and straight. Bend the back knee, grab the back foot from the inside. Pavrita Ardha Chandra Chapasana. We're going to open the heart. Now it's important that that back knee stays hugging in. Try not to take it wider than the hip, okay? Because your spine is going into rotation here. And we don't want kind of a back bend at the same time. Release the foot to the ceiling, standing splits. Just for a moment. Now, if you need a wall for this next one, we're going to do 5 little hops or 1 hold. Handstand. Up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lightly, chaturanga. Ooh-ah. Yeah, that was light. And downward facing dog. So after that, you feel there's an intensity moving through your body, and that intensity has power and strength, has the ability to move things. So what do you want to move? For me today, physically, it was just getting my blood moving, my energy shifting towards one of lightness and positivity. It's amazing what yoga can do. Step the left foot forward, turn the back heel down and flat, come onto fingertips, open your heart. Again, using the grounding energy of that back leg to get a good, strong stretch forward. Ground to your feet, use the power of your legs, and rise, warrior 2. And warrior 2, just settle in. See, my hands are strong, but there's a lightness to them. I'm always contemplating the edges, making sure that they're sweet. They reflect power, but there's a gentleness to them. Stretch the left leg straight. I just imagine that everybody at home right now is going, "Aww, yes, I'm sweet." Okay, let's get back to the practice. Open the heart, strong legs, and stretch your bones. Wow, that feels awesome in the front leg. I did a long run yesterday. I can feel my body's a little bit tight all over. Take the top arm forward, palm face down. And again, we're going to use that rebound energy. Ground through the fingertips, ground through the feet, especially the heels, and stretch. Step into Ardha Chandrasana. I'm going to float the leg back just to give me space. And we'll be going to handstand after this, so you want a little bit of space. And again, if you need, you can just quickly pause and move your mat to the wall. No problem. We don't want anybody crashing. Bend the back knee, grab the back foot, and open your heart. Once you have your balance, strong and steady, left hand, chin mudra. Whoa, nice. And release. Let's transition to warrior 3. Whoa, that's a burner. Right hand down, take a twist, a rotation, let's say. Pavrita Ardha Chandrasana. Left hand up, back leg strong, and stretch it. Bend the back knee, grab the back foot from the inside. Pavrita Ardha Chandra Chapasana. Open the heart. And this one I stay looking down just to keep my body centered as I go into this twist. Okay. Standing splits. I'm just going to move back a little bit. Stretch the right leg up, lift the left heel off the ground, and we're going to kick it up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chatur Anga. Wow! Upward facing dog. I take that really slow because it kills my toes. Whenever I go down too fast, I'm like, oh yes, I forget my toes are not that flexible. Okay. I'm going to go into a twisting bind. Step the right foot forward, place the left knee on the ground. Now, if you're not able to get this bind, you can use a towel, you can use a strap, whatever you need. Sometimes good old-fashioned prayer also works. All right, hands on the hips, open the heart. And just settle. I can feel the front of my thighs a little bit tight. Just give it a little bit of time. Again, use the breath, calm things down. So there's a pulse of energy moving inside. And I want to create a state where I'm aware of the pulse, but not being overwhelmed by it. Just watch it come and go. Hands in prayer pose. Take the twist. Okay. Now we take the twist. With my right hand, I'm going to help feed my left wrist underneath my right thigh towards my belly. Right hand comes around and takes the bind. Now in this one, once you have the bind, look forward towards the floor at the front of your mat. Now your diaphragm is being constricted big time. This is going to limit your breath. And it's going to start to agitate your nervous system. This is where you start to practice stillness in something extremely unpleasant. Lift the back knee up. Stay looking forward. Okay, stage 1, you can stay here. I'm going to move back on my mat just a little bit. Next stage, we're going to step forward into twisting bound, Ardha Chandrasana. I keep the right knee bent for balance, and I float the left leg. Calm breath. And release. Whoa. Step the left foot forward, place the right knee down. Yeah, and that one's intense. When I first started my practice and I started going to advanced classes, that sequence really used to frustrate me. And I used to have moments where I was thinking, well, I'm just not flexible, my body's not made for that, and I just want to do handstands. But it really taught me a lot, you know? And it was just one of those poses sequences that I just really struggled with. And then over time, I just started to include it in my practice and be okay with not being okay at it. And that's actually when the opening happened, when I softened my expectations. Ooh, I should remember that. Bring your hands to your heart center and take a twist. Okay, watch how I feed my hand. So I'm just using, see how the elbow bends? So it has room to go under. I take it slow. I feel, okay, right there, my shoulders pretty tight. Just chill. Wait for it, okay. Look forward. And this is where the discomfort really kicks in. Calm the breath down. And internally, what I'm saying is, you got this. You got it. Back knee up. Shift forward. And we're going to just float that right leg up. And release. Oh. Ooh. Back knee up. Keep the breath still, or steady, let's say sweet, calm. Move the back foot forward slowly. Start to shift the weight onto the front leg and just float that right leg up. And release. Wow. Downward facing dog. Bring your knees to the floor. I'm going to flip around. Sit back on your heels. Vajrasana. One hand on top of the other. Just close your eyes and drop in. When we struggle with something, or we don't meet our own expectations, there's an inner voice that starts to judge, and it closes our energy, it closes the heart. Because the heart is always trying to be the most that it can be. At anything we're doing, the heart is fully present. And in yoga, we're trying to allow that presence of light energy to come through in our postures, in our words, in our connections. We are not looking for perfection. We are looking to make progress through the connection. Bring your hands to prayer pose. Bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. Lift your head. Open your eyes. How are you guys doing? You guys good? Okay, let's do it. Let's come into downward facing dog. We can do a little Hanuman. Open up the hips. Step the right leg forward. Place the left knee on the ground. I'm going to straighten my right leg, but I'm going to go deeper into the pose by moving my left leg. Okay. When I'm at my edge, I'm going to untuck the back foot. Making sure I'm staying on the mat. And then activate your legs. See how I'm using my fingertips? I use my fingertips to keep the weight off the front leg. Open through the heart. Strong, active legs. Steady breath. And this is one of those poses. You're opening the biggest muscle groups in your body, one of the biggest muscle groups. And that takes time. And it's not something you want to force. It's not something you want to rush. You give it time. And there's an element of discomfort to this pose, absolutely, and necessarily. And it's what you do in that discomfort that is your practice. We can do a little variation of this. Watch my hands. I'm going to move them directly sideways. I'm not going into a twist, directly sideways. Chest stays facing forward, and I'm going to pivot my hips a little bit to the left. Now with my hands, I'm taking the weight off the front leg, okay? Still using the back leg, but I'm pressing into the floor to lift my torso up. And what I'm doing is I'm actually actively stretching my torso away from the back leg. There's almost no weight on that front leg. So I can stretch it out just a little bit more. Don't overdo this one. It's nice and sweet. Wait for the opening. Good enough. Come back to center and start to slide the front leg back to move you into downward facing dog. Step the left foot forward. Place the right knee on the floor. Again, I'm gonna move my front foot forward a little bit more. Last time it was a little bit short. Move the right leg back to go deeper. Untuck the back foot when you're at about your edge. And then press the back foot down and just move the back knee in just a little bit. This is going to create internal rotation of the back leg. Kind of just get your glute muscles a little bit more externally open. So it's not cramming right up against your sacrum, binding you there. Open for your heart, strong legs, fluid breath. Okay, shift the hands to the right. And again, I'm not turning my body to the right. I keep my upper body facing forward. Lean the hips directly to the right. Yeah, and I feel this right in the upper part of my hip. Even going into my belly right where it connects to my hip is a little bit tight there. I think that has more to do with kind of stress than running. Yes, I'm a yoga teacher. Yes, I experience stress. Yes. I was going for number 3, but I didn't have a number 3. Oh, all right, come back to center. Now sweetly move the front leg back to push back, downward facing dog. Okay, come to your hands and your knees. Come to your forearms and your knees. We're going to do a little shoulder opener. We're going to move towards Sirsasana 1, or headstand 1. If you need the wall, you can move towards the wall, no problem, okay? And I'll call off stages at any point. If you just need to pause and be in your stage, it's totally cool. Keep it going, and you can even stay in your stage and just stay with us, okay? Interlace. Actually, let's do a quick shoulder opener. Forearms together. Walk the knees back just a little bit, and I'm actively pressing the back of my hands down and actively pressing my forearms together. This is where the opening happens. Then I'm going to start to move the hips towards my heels. They won't touch. If they do touch, I need to move my knees further back. I don't want them to touch. So I want a little bit of an angle from my hips to my elbows so that my heart has a little bit of an incentive to open. Now I know that some of you, when you do this pose, you can get your heart all the way to the floor. I don't like you people. I'm just joking. I love you. I want to be you, but I'm not. And I'm okay with that, just slightly sad. It's interesting the things that go through my mind when I'm practicing alone. Okay, before we get into any more therapeutic evaluations here, let's go right into headstand. So I'm going to move back so I'm in the center of the mat, okay? Interlace the fingers. We're going to bring the very top part of the head to the floor. Lift the hips up, walk the feet in. Now, when the top of my head is on the floor, I'm actively pressing it down. And you should have some space, even space on the front, back, and sides of the neck, okay? Press the elbows into the floor. And you can either go up 1 foot at a time, bend one knee and go up lightly. If you're at the wall, you can kick up, or you can float up. Okay. I'm a floater. Okay, strong arms, strong legs, no laughing. Laughing will distract you. Okay, squeeze the legs together. And right now I'm pressing through my wrists and elbows. That is, even though I'm pressing the head down, there's not a lot of weight on my head. I can lift it off the ground if I wanted to. I'm not going to, but if I wanted to, I could do that. Strong arms, strong legs. Now, if you're starting to wobble, if you're up and you're wobbling, just come down, okay? If you come down, keep the butt up, just feet on the ground, kind of like dolphin. We're going to go into a little variation of this. If this is too much, you just stay here. It's no problem. We're going to go into lotus, okay? You're going to do half lotus just by bending one knee and bringing the foot in front of the thigh, or full lotus. If you're able to get full lotus without using your hands, you go for it. It's a little bit more advanced, but that's why we're here, a challenge. Okay, now we're going to do a variation of this. We're going to turn the hips towards the right. Legs stay vertical, body stays upright. It's just a twist in the body. Head doesn't move. Come back to center. Take it to the other side. Come back to center. Okay. Stay steady here. Do a little core exercise. This is a burner. I know it's already intense. We're going to fold the knees towards the triceps, okay? If you're struggling with this, just stay vertical or bring them just as low as you can. Up for 1. We're going to do 3. 2. Whew. And 3. My triceps are burning. And up. Unfold the legs. Back and lower down slow. You can pause halfway. Oh, if you haven't had enough. Whew. And rise. Okay, I'm going to turn around just to face you. Okay. As you come up, just take a breath. This is quite intense on the body. And the body is receiving a signal that there's stress, that the body's in danger. All right. Close your eyes. And with your breath, take a nice inhale in. And with your exhale, communicate to yourself, I am okay. I am okay. And every breath, you re-communicate this signal to yourself, to your heart, to your mind, and to your body. I am all right. Okay, so when we do that pose, there's some tension that builds up in the neck and shoulders. So we're just going to take that, interlace the hands behind the back, soften the chest open, and we're going to wrap the hands around to the right. Okay. Tilt the head to the right, so we're getting a nice stretch to the left side. As you press the left shoulder down, you also get the levator scapula, little muscle connecting from your shoulder blade to your neck. And I just move my head around slightly just to explore in the neck, like where's the most tension. You went, oh, there you go, find it. Okay, pause. Breathe. Signal. And release. Okay, let's do it to the other side. Cross the hands over. Nice, sweet breath. Yeah, there you go. Tilt the head. Shoulder moves down. Do a little exploration. See where it's tight. See where you need love. I'm in a funky mood now. Okay. Shake it out. Okay. So we're going to go into Sarvangasana, shoulder stand. We're going to do a cycle. Okay, so if you're unfamiliar with the cycle, when I'm calling it out now, you can watch through it and then just rewind and then go with me through it. But if you're unfamiliar, try not to be trying to do it while you're in the pose. Okay, so we don't want the head turning around, moving around once we're vertical. So we're going to go to Sarvangasana, actually Halasana Sarvangasana. Then we're going to do Ekapada. Then we're going to do Parsvaika and then we're going to do lotus and Parshva with lotus, okay? So if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about don't worry. Go to the kitchen, grab a beer, have a seat, and watch. Bring one for me too, okay? All right, let's do it. So let's come on to our backs. If you're unfamiliar with these poses, no problem. Just take a moment, watch it through, and then join us. You can even fast forward so you can have a little bit quicker real-time view. Or not real-time, but get into it with us quicker. Hands at the side, palms face down. Curl your knees towards your chest, and we're just going to bring the feet right overhead, Halasana. Okay, now when I'm just adjusting my head, because I have my hair back there, my mic, all that stuff, but I want the back of my head flat. Once the head is flat, take the hands to the lower back for support, and then take one leg up at a time. You can adjust your shoulders if needed. Now once you're in this position, the head doesn't move around, okay? Because your head is part of the foundation. Now the key to this pose is active legs. My toes are fired up, my quads are fired up, my kneecaps are toned. And this is helping to regulate the blood flow, okay, so it doesn't pull all towards my head or my eyes. This is a great pose to tap into Ujjayi breath. We're going to be here for a few rounds of breath. And once we start going into the cycle, we'll do a couple of breaths per variation, okay? Keep the left foot where it is, and we're going to take the right foot straight back. Once the toes touch, actively press the toes into the floor to get the top leg stretching. Back to the breath. Take the right leg up, pause, and take the left leg back. Once the toes touch, I'm pressing them. I'm touching the floor. I'm off my mat a little bit, so they're a little bit sliding. I just find a place where I can make the connection strong enough to stretch. Take the left foot up. Now for Parsvaika, take the right foot back just like we did before. And then we're going to shift the right foot to the right, just about 45 degrees. Let's call it the corner of the mat, that direction. Make the connection, stretch through the legs. Bring the foot back up. Take the left foot back. Take the left foot to the left. And stretch through both legs. Back to center, bring it back up. Now you can stay here or bring the foot into lotus. Now if the feet don't come into lotus on their own, do not use your hands. That is the fastest way to fuck up your knee, okay? That was intense, I know. But hopefully it made the point. Okay, keep the lotus. Now we're going to go into Parsva, okay? So the hips pivot to the right. They're just turning. Then I'm going to lower my right hand to catch my hip. So I have like creating a table that I'm going to essentially do a small back bend on. And you can do that with legs straight too, but it puts a lot more pressure on your wrists. Okay. Come back to center. Okay. Left hand moves away from the body just a little bit, gives me space to settle my hip on. Then I do a little back bend over on the hand. My other hand is still on the waistline, creating a little bit of support. Come back to center. For this next one, I'm going to put my hands on my knees, and I'm just going to balance. I'm using my shoulders. Start to shift the weight into the hands. Okay, hands back to the lower back. Okay. And you can work the legs back to straight. If you are staying in straight or you're already down, no problem. Take the feet overhead, Halasana. Bring the knees to the sides of your ears. And we're going to sweetly roll out. Oh, yeah. Catch your breath. Okay, come onto your forearms. Shift back just a little bit. I'll start with the left side. Usually I would start with the right side. Actually, I'll just flip around. Fuck it. And here we are. Okay, we start with the right side. We're going to come into Virasana with the right leg. So I'm just holding from the front of the ankle, fold it in, and flip it around. Okay. Now, once this foot is touching the ground, I want the toes are actually not directly pointing straight back. They're kind of slight angle. Okay, that is coming from the internal rotation of this thigh. If the leg is just a hinge joint, so when I fold it and to get it to the outside of the hip, the whole thing needs to turn in just a little bit. Okay, that's really important. Then, stage one, if this is really tight, I can be up on a bolster or a block or cushions, whatever. Stage two, hands just like this. Stage three, I can come down. Okay. Now, once I'm down, I'm again just looking at the direction of the knee, making sure that it's as best as I can, rooting down. And this side's quite intense for me. Right. So I'm surprised I showed this first. I should have showed the other side. Yeah. Okay. Last stage, you can come onto your back. Okay. I'm using my arms just to kind of adjust my body so that I can get this right thigh down. If this is too much for you, just stay here, it's no problem. If you need a little bit more, bring your left knee towards your left shoulder. I'm just hugging the knee in. At the same time, I'm stretching down and forward to that right knee. To get a little bit more opening, I like to stretch this right arm long. We're going to be moving into a couple of back bends after this, so I use this opportunity to even open the shoulder. And it's intense for me, so I'm trying to use my breath to match the intensity of the physical experience. Okay, bring it in. I use my hand to help the foot come out and forward. Sweet. And as I go into the next side, I back up a couple of stages. Some of you guys are super flexible. You just go right into it. But whenever I'm doing thigh stretches like this, I'm never quite sure how tight my quads are going to be. And I don't want any kind of reaction, stress at my knees. Okay, so I just take it sweet. Wait for it. Okay, the side's much more open, forearms. So I can move through the stages a little bit quicker. But I'm still not rushing. I'm still tuning in. Come on to the back. Once I got to my back, okay, I could feel the body's It's quite intense on the thigh stretch. Bring the right knee in towards the right shoulder. And I'm balancing my ability to pull the right knee in with my ability to keep the left knee down. Okay. Again, this is not something that we need to rush to accomplish the end goal. It's all more about the process, the journey, how we get there, and who we are along the way. Need to remember that. Oh, yeah. You can stretch the left arm long overhead. Get you a little bit more space on the whole left side of your body. All right, and release. Good. Use the hand to bring the foot around. Nice and sweet. Okay. So we're going to go into some back bends. Ardha Chandrasana. Just classic back bend, right? Stage 1, you can do bridge pose. We're going to move through a couple of variations of back bend. But if you're unfamiliar or if it's a struggle for you, you can just do bridge pose. It's not a problem. So I just do a quick check-in to make sure that my heels are not so far away and they're as wide as my hips, toes pointing forward. I can just do that by feeling what my fingers kind of glide the Achilles tendon, and that's telling me the direction that my feet are pointed. Okay, they're a little bit far. Okay, place the hands. Now, before, back bends, my back is fairly tight in back bends usually, and shoulders. So what I find is before I even start, and I'm just thinking about back bends, my body's already tensing because it's anticipating something uncomfortable. So I take a moment, just pause, soften my breath, soften my heart, and then I go up. Hips up, come on to the top of your head, open the heart, pull the shoulders back, and go up. So you push the floor away, you ground through your feet, so your feet move over your hands. This takes the stress out of the lower back. And release. Whoa. Yeah, okay. After back bends, I like to open my arms to the sides just to allow the heart to settle, allow the shoulders to relax. When I'm in crowded classes as a student, I know that irritates people, but it's not my problem. It's their karma. Okay. I know, I'm that kind of yogi. Namaste. Okay, let's do it. Place the hands. Again, take a moment to pause. Lift the hips up. Come on to the top of the head. Open the heart and go up. Now we're going to lift the right heel up and move it in slightly. Press the left leg straight. Walk the right foot back out. Lift the left heel up and in. Stretch the right leg straight. And release. Oh yeah, arms out to the side. Sorry, neighbor. Open the heart. Okay. So this next pose, we're going to do Dvipada Viparita Dandasana. So essentially, we're going to go up into a back bend first, lower to the top of the head, and bring the hands into Sirsasana, just like a headstand, okay? Now, I'm including this in this video because I hate this pose. It's my Nemesis Pose. It's everything about my practice that is tight and limited is in this pose. So So every time I come to shoot a video, I said, I should include that pose. And then right when I get to this moment, I'm like, yeah, no, it's not good. But today, we're moving energy, so might as well move what is difficult, right? This is the challenge, this is the practice. You know, we can't always just do what we're good at. We can't always just do what we're comfortable with. And this is the teaching for this moment for me. All right, place the hands. Okay, and this is where I say my prayer. And don't worry, like if this totally sucks, I'm just going to edit it out. You would never know that this was not here. Yeah, I know it's fucked up, isn't it? So, but I have that power. So, hips up. Come on to the top of your head. And go up. Oh, that feels good. I'm open. Top of the head, down. One hand at a time. Shifts into Sirsasana. Interlace the fingers. And I'm using my elbows to get the heart open, to keep the weight off the head, but also grip to open the chest. Some of you guys are open. You can lift the head off the floor. My head is up. Gives me a little bit more space. Good. Head down. Place one hand, place the other hand. We're going to go back up. Urdhva. Wow, that's where it burns. And release. Woo! All right. So I don't like doing that pose because it fucks up my hair. There's a lot of honesty going on here today. Bring your knees into your chest. Nice and sweet. Around through the lower back. Okay. Just turn to your side and come to a seated position. Okay. This is where you fix your hair. Okay. So this is a process for me because I have to do it above my mic. So, but this is modern yoga teacher problems. Okay, stretch your legs forward. And all right, as you stretch your legs forward, see what I did there? I just used my hands because I'm getting out of the lower back. So for me, when I do back bends, you know, there's a lot of tension in my lower back because I'm not so open. So I'm using a lot of, you know, strength and power to kind of get that opening. And I need everything to settle down. So I use my hands to lift up. Bend the left knee in. We'll go into a traditional forward fold, Chandra Chapasana. And again, even as I'm settling in, again, I'm using my hands to check to make sure that I'm out of my lower back. This is the process of starting to reverse that contraction that happens in a back bend. Turn the upper body forward. Walk the hands forward. And you see, I just pause for a round of breath. And what I'm doing is I'm just tuning into my low back. And, you know, there's a moment, I'm actually talking to my body in these moments. I'm saying, okay, first I'm saying thank you, because it's an intense pose, and then I know it's hard for my body. So I just thank my body, but I listen. What does it need now? It needs slowness. Don't rush. Okay. As I go forward, I'm going to keep the right hand on the outside of the right foot on fingertips. Cross the left hand to the outside. And the right hand on fingertips, it keeps the right shoulder even with the left shoulder as I fold in. You know, these videos, they're a great chance and an opportunity for me to share my practice. And, you know, it's so tempting, you know, when I come to shoot these, to just shoot the best of everything. But it's also important for all of us to recognize and work with our limitations. Yeah. We see so many things out there in social media that we aspire to. And each one of us has that greatness in a different way. And again, nobody's perfect. Inhale to rise. Yeah, nice. That felt really good. Okay. Let's switch legs. I was going to flip around, but I'll just keep it like this. Right knee opens to the side. Turn the upper body forward. And then this side, when I'm listening and pausing, I'm more feeling and listening to my right knee. Because this from running and stuff, is those of you guys who watch my videos, you know that for a while I had some injuries in my right knee. So I'm just sweet with it. Okay. And I wait, and then I reach. As you fall forward, again, keep the left shoulder in line with the right shoulder in terms of height and also in terms of front to back. And fold in. And I can feel like what happens in my right knee when I'm going forward is it has like this tense pulling when it's uncertain. So it's almost like my nervous system kicks in for protection, and what it does is it just tightens. And that's when I stop. And then I have to send a signal to my body to be able to say, okay, I heard you. And I'm not going to push or force. I'm just going to stay right here until you give me the signal to go further. By the way, the you that I'm talking to is also me. So it's me telling me what I need for me to be happy, safe, and secure. So you guys come for yoga, and you get like a whole free therapy session. Inhale to rise. All right, stretch the right leg forward. Shake out the legs just for a moment. Okay, we're going to do this the same form again. Right knee opens up for Chandra Chapasana, but we're going to open it a little bit further than towards the back of the mat. Okay. And past 90, even Chandra Chapasana is a little bit past 90, but even more so on this one. And the right leg, just make sure that it's pointing straight forward, toes straight up and down. I'm going to take the right hand to the outside of the right foot, but bring the right elbow to the inside of the right shin towards the floor. Now what this helps me to do is helps me get leverage with my arm. I'm actually using my arm to get movement forward and rotation. This hand, I'm putting right where the femur or the thigh bone meets the hip. I'm putting it right on the inner thigh, and I'm just pressing down. It's giving stretch and length through this part of the low back or waistline, let's say. And as I root down, open, breathe, smile. Cool. And release. Okay. I'll just flip it around this way so I can stay looking at you guys. All right. Right knee opens up a little bit past 90. See, and I'm just taking this one slow. And actually this is one of the furthest. This week it's actually opened up a lot. And so I'm quite happy like that I have this, You know, when you have when a part of your body gets injured or you become limited, you just become so grateful, when you have it back. Okay, again, left hand on the outside, left foot, left elbow to the inside. And this hand, I'm really focused on just keeping the thigh bone grounded. And this, once the bones touch the ground, the nervous system gets a signal that it's safe, it's secure, because the ground is stable. So I root down, and I'm sending that signal to my body, saying, okay, there's no place else for you to go. So there's no chance that it's going to go past the floor, so you can feel secure here. And I'm putting quite a bit of strength on this side. There, I just felt it release. And then it wants to pop back up again. It's going, no, are you sure? Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. I'm using both arms just to get space in my heart and my chest. That feels delicious. Oh, yeah. Good. And release. Okay, we'll do one final forward fold. I'm going to flip around this way. Paschimottanasana. Legs together. And actually, I want to do a variation of this, okay? So what we'll do is we'll do traditional Paschimo first, and then we're going to do a variation. So walk the hands forward. We're just going to do old school, hold the hands from the outside of the feet, open through the chest, and fold in. I'm using my breath as the guide, as a way of just communicating that I'm slowing the pace down. Inhale to rise. Okay, we're only going to rise a little bit, not all the way up. My left hand is going to move a little bit to the left. I'm going to bend my right knee. This gives me mobility to twist. And I'm going to take the right elbow to the outside. We started with this pose in the forward fold. It's the same exact pose. We're just sitting down. I'm going to flip the hand to the outside of the foot. And then I'm going to work the right leg straight. Now this left hand, I'm using it to go up and into rotation. Okay. And then this is stage one. This is really intense for you. Just stay here. Stage two, you can take the left hand, reach it across to the outside of the right foot, and you're using both hands to get you into rotation to open the chest. Cool, come back to center. Yeah. Okay, we can move the legs around just a little bit. Same thing, right hand goes to the right on fingertips. The left knee bends just to give you access and mobility. Cross the left forearm to the outside of the right shin, flip the hand, and then left leg goes straight. And again, you can stay here. Open through the heart, open through the chest. And make sure that you have access to the breath, okay? If it starts to speed up and get super agitated, just back off a little bit. Stage 2 or 3, stretch the right hand to the outside of the left foot, using both hands to go into rotation. Pavrita Paschimottanasana. Couple of more rounds of breath. And release. All right, and shake out the legs. Okay, come into a cross-legged seated position. I'm going to flip forward. We're going to do a little pranayama, some meditation, and then we'll end with shavasana. Okay, sit up tall, take your shoulders back, open your heart. And again, we're just getting this lift so that the diaphragm and the breathing instrument has space to move. Okay, so today I want to do a little bit more advanced pranayama, a little bit more advanced breath practice. We're going to do Vishnu Mudras. In Vishnu Mudra, we're just bringing your index finger and your traffic finger in. I call it traffic finger because when you're in traffic, whatever, it's your long finger, just tucking it in. The ring finger and your pinky finger, see how I use my fingers? I'm just actually pressing so that the tips are even, okay? And you're going to use that like a little pincher. And see how it's angled down and I can actually touch like that? That's exactly how it touches your nose. Okay, so try to avoid using your finger pads. Once your fingers touch your skin, you don't want them to leave the surface, okay? Because one of your senses is your skin. So if you're constantly touching and retouching and moving away and then bringing it back, your senses are rising to the surface. This is pulling your attention away from the inner body, and we want to go in, okay? So we're going to move through a few cycles. So once we're in, we're going to do Chandra Bedana. So we're going to inhale left, exhale right. We're going to essentially create this circle in through left, exhale through right. And then we're going to reverse it, Surya Bedana. So inhale right, exhale left. Inhale right, exhale left. And then we're going to go to Nadi Shodhana, which is kind of a combination of the two. Inhale right, exhale left. Inhale left, exhale right, okay? So I'm going to be doing it with you just to help keep timing. And so not always will my breath be synced because I need to talk while I'm doing it. Let's do it. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so left hand, Chin Mudra. Right hand, Vishnu Mudra. And again, just the little pinches. If you need this hand to help you, no problem. Bring it to touch your nose. Okay. And this right elbow, relax it down. Chin down, Jalandhara Bandha. Okay. We're going to do one round of cleansing breath. Take a deep inhale in. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale through left. Exhale through right. In through left. Out through right. In through left. Out through right. Reverse, in through right. Out through left. In through right. Out through left. In through right. Out through left. Nadi Shodhana, in through right. Out through left. In through left. Out through right.
In through right. Out through left. In through left. Out through right. In through right. Out through left. In through left. Out through right.
Release your hand. Keep your eyes closed. On the inhale, lift your chin. Exhale through your mouth. And there is this lightness that arises when bound energy is released. And this is the lightness that we want to tap into in our meditation. Each thought is a form of bound energy. And the release of that form returns energy back to the source. And your meditation is just being present within that source. need a little bit more time in meditation, just hit pause. Otherwise, come into Shavasana. And stay in Shavasana for a few minutes, and again, if you need longer in Shavasana, again, just hit pause and hit play whenever you're ready to continue with us. As you lay your body out in Shavasana, allow your arms and your legs to settle open. And this is a moment where we surrender to energy. Not only energy that is internal, but also energy that is external. And at some deeper point, they become the same. And Shavasana is the practice of us releasing this identification that I am separate than that which surrounds me, or separate from that which surrounds me. And it's the practice of accepting that I am part of a whole. And that whole is the universe itself. And when we settle into this understanding, we become light. The weight of our thoughts is released. The weight of our emotions is released. And we become supported by a much bigger and brighter energy, which itself is in us all the time. So soften into that space, soften into space, and settle. If you need a little bit more time for Shavasana, feel free to stay. Begin to increase your breath. Move your fingers and your toes. Start to gently move your hands and your feet. Move your arms and your legs. Bring your knees in sweetly towards your chest and give your legs a gentle hug. As you bring the knees in, kind of pull them in so that your lower back is rounding a little bit more. Get all of those muscles back in there, sweetly opened. Turn to your side and use your hands to lift you to a seated position. Bring your left hand onto your chest and bring your right hand onto your left hand. It is such an absolute blessing to have this instrument that we call a body, to move through and experience life with. It is such a gift. And every day that we arrive to the mat, this instrument is in a different state and has different needs. And it's our job and part of our practice to tune into those needs. This instrument not only is just a physical thing, it's also a mental being and a spiritual being, which they too have needs. And our journey and our practice is to tap into those as well. Bring your hands to prayer pose. Bow your head to your heart. And just give thanks for this moment, for this practice, opportunity to connect. Bring your hands to touch your forehead. So you carry the light of your heart to your mind. Bring them to touch your lips. May that light be reflected in the world through our actions. And bring it to rest at your heart. Namaste. Wow, thank you guys so much for practicing with me. It's such a blessing. And you know, it's an absolute pleasure to be able to come and share with you in this way and share my practice, whatever's happening, and sharing what's happening in my body, what's happening in my mind. Crazy, I know, but thanks for hanging in there with me and sharing this experience with me. I'm so grateful. Sending you so much love, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Sending you a big, beautiful namaste kiss wherever you are. Take care. Bye-bye.